back on gaming. I want to say this right now. You notice I'm just sitting back here and I'm relaxing because I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking, how stupid can people be? You know, maybe it's not about being stupid. Maybe it's about hypocrisy. And that's what I want to talk about first when we talk about gaming. Because for those who did not see the article over at Vanity Fair, which I will put the archive version in the info bar for you guys and girls, I want to talk about this. Because they did an article with Jonathan Blow who says that the majority of video games are porn. So now I have to ask Jonathan Blow, hence your last name, what fucking drugs are you on? Seriously, what drugs are you on? Because whatever it is, you need to go back to your doctor and go get a new prescription. To say that the majority of video games are porn, and then in the same breath, say that puzzle games aren't challenging enough to us players, saying that it doesn't make gamers smart. It only pretends to because of the lazy AI. I guess this guy has never played Kirby's Avalanche. I guess this guy's never played Intelligence Cube. I bet you this guy has never played head-to-head and bust a move. I bet you this guy has never played Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine on its hardest level. I guess this guy has never played Super Puzzle Fighter on its hardest level. Matter of fact, since we're sitting here and we're talking about the majority of games are porn and puzzle games, they don't challenge you enough, then I guess this game would send you through the roof. Don't sit here and bullshit me about this, talking about some games aren't harder, they're not, smart enough, especially when you have these games that are for years and years that have still been around that are considered legendary, that you can still play today. Don't sit here and tell me this. It's absolutely ridiculous for you to say such a thing. But once again, taking shots at an industry at the time that doesn't need it. And you are a developer. You should know better. But yet, instead, you want to sit here and say that majority of video games are porn. I mean, do we really have to get into this? Majority of video games are educational or help you as a human being with your reflexes. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, any RPG that you played, well, probably not now these days since a lot of them like to use voice acting, but when you had to read stuff on screen, guess what? That made you literate. That's what it made you. Alright? You had to constantly read and see what was going on. You had to learn the strategies of your opponents. It was a choose-your-own adventure, and I say this due to the fact that they talk about in this article of Vanity Fair, and I'll get on Vanity Fair in a minute, okay? How they need more choose-your-own adventure games, and of course they start plugging all these, this indie game not too long ago, because it's a great choose-your-own adventure. Look, we've had choose-your-own adventure games for years. For years. It's nothing new, okay? That's what it comes down to. Your average RPG was a choose-your-own-adventure game. Matter of fact, Jonathan Blow, why don't you go and play Suikoden? And then try to survive with all your characters. Get back to me on that, alright? Since you need more choose-your-own-adventure, Jonathan Blow and Vanity Fair. Speaking of Vanity Fair, alright? Because they love to pull this shit and listen to this clown that talks about porn and video, mostly, video games are porn, and that it's not challenging enough, because now we have to use the moral route, because that's where we have to go now. Because when you hear the word porn, oh my god, think of the children. That's what they're trying to do here, okay? Do you understand that? But Vanity Fair has a lot of nerve to even, take this on. Especially all the controversy that they've come through. Back, I'll go as far as to say 2010, when they put out this cover when it came to the new Hollywood. And every publication ate Vanity Fair alive for that cover because there wasn't a person of color on the front. You think Vanity Fair will learn their lesson, right? No, they didn't learn their lesson because for just not too long ago, now that we know that the hot button topic, since we've seen the Oscars and all these people, all these actresses all of a sudden are coming out and screaming misogyny and they're being slaves, even though they're making $20, $30 million a movie, and that they're being oppressed, Vanity Fair goes and pulls this. And now sites are eating them up again simply for the fact that the male is in a dominant position in a time where they're talking about misogyny, and oppression, and Vanity Fair is taking a lot of heat for this. So I'll put it like this, Vanity Fair. Get yourself together first before you decide to attack our video games or interview idiots about video games, alright? Stay out of gaming. As far as I'm concerned, also people need to stay out of gaming. Brianna Wu, alright? Now put it like this. Remember last week how we talked about that 11-year-old that was duped in Destiny and had his data erased? Well, now she is sitting here and bagging on that 11-year-old. That's right, saying, who cares about this 11-year-old when all these problems are happening to me and women in gaming? That's right. She's taking someone else's problem and making it about herself once again. Then this pompous ass has the nerve to say that she is going to be writing the history of men in journalism in this era. So still trying to profit off of this victimizing thing, huh? Okay, Brianna Wu, we see what you're doing. However, your book may not go so well because Game Informer decided to knock her down a few pegs after she tweeted that. Now Brianna Wu has guys in the media saying, you're just making shit up. Once again, Brianna Wu, we don't believe you. Also, let's talk about people who have a lot of nerve to talk about the media in general. Leah Alexander, for those who didn't know what she had to say about the media, check this out. Outmoded though? Are you really going to try and use that word? Look, that's what you call trying too hard to fit in. And I want to talk about this because she says most of the devs, alright? Most of the devs. Because apparently she knows majority of the developers who are neutral or in favor of Gamergate are a certain age. Do you know what that means to even try to use that? That's ageism. You understand that, right, Leah Alexander? Which also means it's a form of hate. It's a form of prejudice. It's a form of segregation. So you're using hate and you think that that's okay all of a sudden, and that alone should get people to walk away from you. But for some reason, you still have stupid fucking followers, which make no sense to me. I guess they just think it's okay to use hate to push your platform. Thank you for the example. But let's do another example of Leah Alexander as she tries to go after Ken Levine. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a good example of how you dig yourself deeper in a hole of stupid. For her to sit here and say, I wonder if Ken Levine, if he stays up at night, he's haunted by the things he created. Look, the only thing that Ken Levine, I've seen he's created, is games. What you create, Leah Alexander, is hate. That's what you do, all right? And then I'm shocked that, if anything, I think that you would look at yourself in the mirror at this point and say, hey, maybe I'm going too far. But I think that you're so far into this that you have no choice but to keep going. I think that's what it is. So for you to keep bumping your gums about these type of things and getting online and talking shit while using a block bot, mind you, I'm still waiting for this ethnic backlash. I'm still waiting for that, because, you had to go on Twitter and ask for approval if you can start. I didn't know you need to ask for approval, to start something like that. But apparently she needed to ask for approval. Leah Alexander, I'm still waiting. Time's ticking. Seriously, if you're so much of a badass, why don't you haven't done anything yet? Why haven't you? See, this is what I talk about when I say, you talk the talk, but you don't walk the walk. Just like Brianna Wu. As far as I'm concerned, both of you need to just shut the fuck up and just let people do what they do. Which is, let them make their games, let fans play their games, because apparently every gamer that does stuff for charity and things of that nature, they use games for a positive, while all you do is spew negative rhetoric. That's all you do. And speaking of negative rhetoric, Anita Sarkeesian, you know what? I love this, all right? Because she has the nerve to come out and say something about Bayonetta and is quickly put in her place. Because now we know, listen, we already know she wasn't a gamer, but then when you put her in her place that she cannot combat because she's not a gamer, because she's not part of this community, and she doesn't know anything about Bayonetta. I swear, man, ever since Law and Order, they're just grasping at straws at this point. I mean, seriously, you tried to come out with a rap song last week. Then you tried to make a t-shirt that said Gamergate is hate and tried to sell it. So now you're trying to sell hate. Stop. It's over for you. You don't have anything else left. It's done. That's what it is. And all you can keep doing is running your little mouths and hoping that someone listens to you and believes you. That's what it is. You're hoping that someone believes you. But right now, for the stunts that you have pulled, you sit and complain about harassment when you do everything yourself. You do the same thing. So you're all hypocrites as far as I'm concerned. I will put it like this. I want to get the games because speaking of hypocrites, EA and their bullshit, let's get to this. Okay, now people, you've heard for a while that EA says, we're a changed company. We're going to try to do right by the fans. We're going to try and be the gamer's buddy. Well, you heard all those things, didn't you? And what happened? For those who don't know, EA reveals that Battlefield Hardline Premium Program a $50 DLC subscription. That's damn near the cost of the game. And you're going to sit here and say that all of a sudden you should pay $50 for DLC? People, stop that. Stop. Just this, gamers, You should know better by now. And I understand that people do like Hardline and what they've seen. I've seen the beta. I saw the heist. That seemed like the best board I saw so far was the heist thing. But, with the bank. But that was it. You can't sit here and tell me that you're going to sit here and you're going to charge $50, all right? Pretty much $10 shy of the full product for DLC and say, it's a membership. Get the fuck out of here with that, EA. You should be ashamed of yourself. $50. Come on, man. Also, let's move on with Capcom. Capcom apologizes for lack of Resident Evil Revelations 2, lack of multiplayer co-op on the PC, right? Now, they're apologizing. Now, mind you, if you remember back in the day when I did the Final Fight, Capcom admitted we were wrong for putting Always Online on it. I had to go to the Better Business Bureau about it. Remember, I did a video on it. I showed you the stuff. They said, we apologize for not telling anybody that it was Always Online when we sold the game. So pretty much, you dupe people into buying it because I said if I knew it was Always Online, I wouldn't have bought it. Did I not say that? Okay, so Capcom loves to apologize, but does nothing about it. Check this out. Capcom is looking for solutions over the Resident Evil Revelations 2 lack of local co-op. So you're looking for solutions. How about this, Capcom? Just put it in. That's your solution. Put it in. You're looking for solutions. Just put it in. You know what? You don't even have to do that, all right? Because gamers have already done it for you. For those who don't know what I'm talking about. Resident Evil Revelations 2 modders add canceled co-op mode back into the PC version. So now you have gamers doing your job, Capcom. Do you understand that? That is absolutely ridiculous. For a company that makes so much money, you just spent how many millions and almost $1 billion making that big building, but you can't give PC gamers local co-op. You'll apologize to them, but won't do anything about it. Looking for solutions, my ass. I ain't trying to hear that. Look, I want to move on to fighting. That's right. MKX is making room, as we know, for the Predator. We know that already, right? We know about Spawn, right? Check this out. Making room for Jason Voorhees. That's right. And Colonel Al Dillon. Now, for those who don't know who Colonel Al Dillon is, he was played by Carl Weathers in Predator in the original, okay? Carl Weathers was already signed away his likeness so that they can use him in the game. So it goes to show you, once again, you're putting all these characters in, and yet you just won't give people their horror sci-fi fighting game. You got to add it in the Mortal Kombat. So we had Freddy. We're getting Jason, you're getting Spawn, you're getting Predator, you're getting Colonel Al Dillon. You might as well put an alien there, a xenomorph in there. You might as well put Pinhead in there. You might as well put Chucky in there. You might as well just get the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Leatherface. Just put them all in there and then say, fight. Because that's what it is, MK. That's what it is. That's not Mortal Kombat, man. Come on, man. Come on. I understand at this point it is a glorified dream match game. But if that's what it is, then call it that. I wouldn't have a problem with it if you called it that, alright? But the fact that you're trying to sit here and say, this is Mortal Kombat, and like I said before, you want to bring in Predator, but you already got Cyrax and Sector, now we got Jason Voorhees. Why don't you bring in Michael Myers too? Just have two unstoppable, because that's what it should be, unstoppable zombie tanks just going through. Can you imagine Jason doing a front flip and kicking somebody? I'm just saying. No. You can't, because that's not what Jason does. I just don't understand why they are doing this. I understand they're trying to appeal. I'll put it like this. When you're seeing, and we've seen this time and time again, you see this with TV shows a lot, and with game shows. When game shows are doing good, and then they start taking a dip in ratings, they start bringing in celebrities. So you see all these celebrities come on these shows that try to boost ratings. It seems like Mortal Kombat, it's almost the same thing, where Mortal Kombat is taking a dip, because let's be honest here, their core base is still going to buy those products, but when it takes a dip to the masses, well, we got to add in this, or this novelty, or this gimmick, so that you'll come and, so that those ratings will go up, or their sales will go up. That's what it is, all right? Right now, they are playing you. That's how I see it. I want to move on to more fighting. For those who don't know, Mortal Kombat X, a free-to-play version of MKX to hit the iOS and Android, is said to be a fighting/car battler hybrid. You know what? Something tells me this is going to be like WWE Immortals. That's what it feels like as far as I'm concerned. We'll see what happens, but it will be a free-to-play game, just to let you know, okay? Also, in great fighting news, I'll say for once, Clayfighter is coming back in 2016. We'll see what happens. We'll have a bunch of double jumps, air dashes, things of that nature. We'll see what they'll do. Hopefully, they do justice by this game, and this will be a tournament game. Clayfighter, for those who have never played Clayfighter, by all means, please play the old version of Clayfighters so you can see what's going on. I'm just waiting for Primal Rage at this point. Matter of fact, bring back Eternal Champions. How about that? Alright? This is to bring back Time Killers. Like, seriously, these old fighting games do need to make a comeback. Like I said, it doesn't always have to be about Street Fighter or, this main staple, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. It doesn't have to be always about them. It can be better than this. You can always find that fan base back. Seriously, I'm still waiting for Power Stone, and I want to say this now, alright? Over the weekend, I actually had a chance to play with Rockaway Carl, More Zombie, a number of people. I had a chance to play Anarchy Reigns with them. And I'm trying to still figure out why this doesn't have more tournaments for this. You've got to be kidding me. We ended up playing Death Ball, which if you haven't played Death Ball, please play Death Ball. It is amazing. But I'll put it like this: if we played, it was 6 of us and 2 computer AI, so 8 characters on the same screen, just going nuts at each other. As far as I'm concerned, this definitely needs more of, it just needs more attention. And the fact that this game is only $10 now, you've got to be kidding me that this game does not have more tournament value. This is it. You're missing a huge opportunity here with this game when it comes to tournaments. Just like they dropped the ball, they missed the opportunity with Power Stone. I don't understand this. It's seriously, this is something. Look, let's just move on. I want to talk about more tournaments, okay? Because, for those who don't know, there's an online Melty Blood Actress Again current code tournament that's going on Sunday. This is the 3rd tournament of its kind. The person that's putting it on. First place gets $20. Second place gets $5. That'll be on Sunday the 8th. I will put up the sign-up sheet if you are interested in playing Melty Blood. Just to let you know, okay? So, that's there. Also, I gotta talk about Dead or Alive. Alright. Now, a lot of people have messaged me about this over the weekend. There's been a lot of people who have done videos on this. Dead or Alive community aims to ban over 120 over-sexualized costumes in Dead or Alive last round. Let's talk about this for a minute, okay? Because I find this is a bit hypocritical. Because Dead or Alive has always been known for its sexual overtones. That's what's brought it to the game. Now, what their community is saying is that they want to clean it up a bit because, for tournament play, so that ages aren't affected by it. Look, I put it like this. This is what's brought you to the game. For you to sit here and say that it's over-sexualized instead of the fact that we just covered this not too long ago. It's a ton of DLC. Let's not make a big thing out of DLC, but the fact that the costumes are over-sexualized, okay? Because that's what it is. It's not the price of the costumes. It's not how much, the DLC costs. It's because of the way they look. That should tell you something. Priorities, people. But they're trying to say that, they want to bring respect back to that fighting game. But you have to understand, that ship has sailed. It has sailed. For years. You were okay with this. Now, all of a sudden, it's too much. No, you can't have it both ways. You just can't. And I feel bad for the Dead or Alive community because I understand why they want to do this. But from the outside looking in, when it comes to other communities, they're going to look at you and call you stupid. They're going to laugh at you. They're going to call you, like I said, a bunch of hypocrites are saying, you were okay with this then. Now all of a sudden it's a big deal. I'll put it like this. If you really wanted some, I won't say over-sexualized too much, but some sexual, scantily clad ladies, but can actually fight, I would have seen the Dead or Alive community really try to push Rumble Roses some more. But we didn't see that, did we? No, we didn't. But this is what we're dealt with now. So the Dead or Alive community, like I said, this is something you have to deal with. Majority of people that I've seen, whether on YouTube or on forums, they're laughing at this. They're calling you stupid. And I don't think you should be, you deserve to be called stupid. I understand you're trying to make a valiant effort to change things, but you should know this was your own doing. And I say that because this is what the company thought that you wanted, because you supported this type of, these type of actions, these type of antics for years. So this may be one of those things you have to say you have to chalk it up to your losses. Now, if y'all want to keep fighting for this, by all means, go ahead. I mean, I'm not going to jump all over you for it, but, I mean, let's be honest here. You created this monster. You did. And now you have no way to contain it. So, unless you really say, hey, look, I'm not going to buy this DLC, because that's the priority here, I'm not going to buy this DLC, then the company will think twice. But until then, this is just going to keep on rolling. So if you want a tournament where, these things are banned, then by all means, please, start having your own tournaments. Start having your own online tournaments. Go to other places that, that other conventions and hold your own tournaments and say, hey, look, we're not going to have this, and this. They're not allowed. Okay? That's so far, I think if that's where you want to start, that's where you should start with the baby steps and then work your way up. To try and just erase it all in one shot when it's known for this, I think that people are just going to laugh at you. They're not going to take you seriously. That's just my opinion. Like I said, I don't have anything against the Dead or Alive community, but that's just my opinion on it, on the issue. Now, I do want to move on to Namco Bandai. For those who don't know, they're listing that their servers are having connection problems, and the guide to unlocking characters, and this is Dragon Ball Xenoverse. So, Bandai, you tried to hit people with DLC, but yet you still have problems with your server connections. I think you need to take care of that as soon as possible, as far as I'm concerned. You can't sit here and say, hey, we're going to promote this online, all these things, and then have problems with your servers. But yet we're going to hit you with this DLC that you have to... Nope. One thing at a time. One thing at a time. Just saying, okay? Also, I want to move on. I want to talk about things that deserve to be plugged. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, a Kickstarter not too long ago. Actually, I believe this is Steam Greenlight. Yes, Steam Greenlight. All right? For those who have not seen this game, and for what I've seen, it is great as opposed to what we've seen with Rev 60 when people were upvoting or downvoting and there was so much drama, look at me, I'm being harassed again. This game actually demands respect because of the hard work. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, Steam Greenlight, once again, the Vagrant. Reminiscent and inspired, clearly, by Dragon's Crown. I would love to see the media try to bag on this one as well. Yeah, you know what? Let's go on some more positive news, okay? For those who don't know, Toejam and Earl Kickstarter. You know what? Toejam and Earl brings back memories. I remember we used to do it back-to-back. I played Toejam and Earl, then Earthworm Jim. Man, so many memories. Toejam and Earl is now back, and they're trying to get a Kickstarter so they can get their new game up on. And I keep saying they because those characters were so inspiring at the time as a kid. Instead of saying the developers, I say they as if Toejam and Earl actually exist. You know what I mean? But I'm saying this game, I'm sure, will be great if they follow the same lore that the old ones did. Seriously, this is something that deserves to be celebrated. Also, what deserves to be celebrated, alright, Crowfall MMO meets its funding goal. For those who don't know that, I will put that link in the info bar. That is something that needs to be celebrated. Like I said, when you see games like this that have so much hard work put into them, and then they finally are funded and they can go do what they need to do, it's amazing to see. It is great to see. Like I said, for every problem that we see with Kickstarter or Patreon or GoFundMe or Indiegogo, it's always something, there's always somebody trying to get over on somebody. But when we see things like Nightcry not too long ago, you know what I mean, make goal at that stretch, it's like, it's great to see because you know those developers have passion for what they're doing because they're tested, they have been proven. This is something that needs to be celebrated and deserves more attention as far as I'm concerned. Alright? Now, I do want to move on. I want to talk about Xenoblade Chronicles X Direct is coming and is focusing on battles. I will say this right now. Xenoblade Chronicles X, I am looking forward to personally, alright? I'm looking to get online and play it with friends and people, you know, fans and everything. I just want to play with people, you know what I mean? It looks great. However, I will say, within all this, I have not seen enough of the character creator, and I have not seen enough on how to use robots, or if you can even build your own robots in this game. So as far as I'm concerned, until I see that, even though this game is seriously on my radar, I have to put it on the back burner right now until I see more. Seriously, I need to see more when it comes to the character creator. Because let's be honest here, when you are making a game like that, that is what matters. It's customization that matters to me. It was the same way when I played Final Fantasy XI. customization, because the PC version, for those who don't know, PC version was different than the PS3 version. I'm sorry, PS3 version, PS2 version, all right, or the Xbox version. It was when it came to custom creation, okay? Now, I do want to move on. Sonic Team, that's right. Sonic Team boss states that there are no plans for the franchise to drop home consoles. How about this? Don't worry about dropping home consoles or PC or whatever. Just make a quality game. And we saw with Sonic Boom, that wasn't a quality game. So as far as I'm concerned, that's what you should be focusing on. If it's a quality game, it will sell. And if it sells, it will spread to all platforms when you get that money. Make a quality Sonic game. I can't tell you how many times I've seen so many people get upset because of Sonic. You know that Sonic has a hardcore, die-hard fan base. For people to even try and push out what Sonic Boom was, and we knew because we talked about it before, how developers ran out so they didn't have to finish it. They were like, "Yo, we're done with this. We know it's bad. We're not even going to touch it." You know what I mean? And they still sold it anyway. That should tell you how they feel about their customers. As far as I'm concerned, you deserve the customers a good Sonic game. Okay? Now, let's move on to Batman. That's right, more Batman Arkham Knight news. For those who don't know, the collector's edition will cost you. You know what? I really don't even want to talk about this. It's almost hard to talk about this collector's edition because this is pretty expensive. I'll leave it in the info bar. But after seeing what Dying Light did last week, it's kind of hard to be like, "Oh, this is so expensive, blah, blah, blah," when they were giving you a real bunker and all this other stuff and adult diapers for Dying Light. Like, yeah, this is just like, it's almost like peanuts. Even though it's very expensive, it's almost peanuts compared to that. You know what I mean? Also, Hyrule Warriors DLC includes an unexpected playable character. Just to let you know, Nintendo has been really wonky when it comes with DLC. However, the DLC that they have put out when it comes to their games have been quality. I will say that, okay? So it's not like they're just going to keep throwing you things here and there. We don't know if this character, like I said, it's an unexpected character. For people who have Hyrule Warriors, as you know, it's Dynasty Warriors as it is. We will see what comes with it. When it comes out and when people get it, I will listen to what they have to say first before making a judgment of my own, due to the fact that they have it and they're hands-on with it, and I'll listen to what opposing sides, pros and cons, have to say about the issue. Okay? Also, The Evil Within DLC launches in March. I'm just waiting for a complete edition. That's all I'm waiting for. Because as we know, they were going to do this for a while. Even, they came out with a season pass and everything. I'm just going to wait for a complete edition. A lot of people who have this game that I've talked to, majority of it, they really do like the game. However, there's some that are saying that there are some times where it gets really, really silly. And it's like, come on, that's not even somewhat realistic. You know what I mean? It's a game, we know, but when you're in a horror element, a survival horror element, you have to try to stay in those confines, things that you can do, what works and what doesn't work. So, for what I'm hearing, game is good, it's quality, however, it has its derpy times. Now, I want to move on to Sony, because Sony is gearing up for their Spring Fever sales, including Shovel Knight. That's right. Now, for those who don't have Shovel Knight already on the Wii U or whatever, Shovel Knight is a really good game. It is. However, Sony, their Spring Fever sales, I'm going to put this in the info bar, it doesn't seem like much of a sale, to be quite honest. Like, some of these prices, like, oh, it's like $1 off or whatever. Like, really? Like, this is... I would wait and see if they're going to adjust their prices and see what happens, but I will put the link in the info bar for you guys and girls. Also, Sony is putting all focus on PlayStation. That's right. The plans are to exit from TV and smartphone markets. And I find that kind of sad because I got a Sony Bravia sitting right here. And it's a great TV. I've had it for a very long time, and it works. There's nothing wrong with the TV whatsoever. You know what I mean? I still play on it. I have two, they're what, 60-inch? 56, 60 inch. One of those. I believe the lowest it is 56, I believe. Y'all have seen my setup already. I posted on Twitter, so you see how big the TV is. But, like I said, I've never had any problems with it. I never will have any problems with it as far as I'm concerned. And it's sad to see that Sony has taken such a hit on their TV division. But then again, when you're seeing all these TVs every year come out, they're smaller, they're lighter, they're thinner. I mean, I understand why Sony can't keep up, and their moneymaker right now is PlayStation. So if they're going to put all their money into PlayStation, especially not too long ago, what we saw when they were asking fans, well, what old games do you want? What arcade games do you want? They're stocking up in their video game division to lead their way when it comes to a flagship. So you have to be very careful when it comes with Sony, due to the fact that if you're going to put all your, pretty much marbles in one sack, be very careful that this doesn't fall apart. And we see that a lot with people when they put their eggs in one basket. I know I keep using these metaphors, but, it is what it is, all right? So Sony, by all means, give people what they want. Since all your money is going to PlayStation, there's no excuse now that you're not listening to the fans, or you're only going to slowly but surely give them things. No more excuses. Fix the PSN, because I'll put it like this, and I say this not just for the PS4, but the PS3 as well, due to the fact that you have to understand that the PS3, when you go on their PS Store, if you're not on there for, say, like a week or so, maybe a month, you have to download, you have to do an update. So you have to download the update and you have to it's absolutely ridiculous. You didn't have to do this before. And now we're seeing these things when it comes to, Sony must be strapped for cash as far as I'm concerned, because when I turn on my PSN, when I turn on my PlayStation 3, I get ads for Verizon. Remember when it used to be just about video games? Now it's when I turn on my PlayStation, buy Verizon Fios, or buy Comcast Xfinity, or whatever service provider, or Facebook integration, or buy this Mountain Dew, or buy these Doritos, or whatever. I think this generation, we've seen the industry has really done a disservice to the consumers. They have sold us out, this generation, I feel. And I feel that that's something that we need to take a step back at this point and say, hey, even to the industry, and hey, look, you're going about this the wrong way. Now, granted, people are going to say, well, it doesn't faze me, and it's not that big of a deal. It's a big deal due to the fact that you don't need that splash in your face every 5 seconds. That's why. You turn on your video game system to play video games, not to be bombarded by commercials that you can see on TV. That's what I'm trying to get at here. And it's kind of sad that we see that. However, I do want to move on. I want to talk about GameStop, because for those who don't know, GameStop once again is accepting PS2 titles for trade-ins. And $25, a whopping $25, if you trade in your PS2. How about this, GameStop? Fuck off. I'm not trading in my PS2 that works amazing, alright, still to this day, with those classic games on it, because you were going to give me $25. I'm sorry, but no way. However, GameStop, I will come to you and look at your used PS2 games to see what they are. And people, for those who do not remember, just don't go and say, oh, this is pre-owned, I'm going to buy it. No, remember, these are older generation discs. So if you're going to go and look for old discs for PS2 or even PS1, mind you, all right, take the disc, turn it upside down, and look to see if it's been used like a damn hockey puck or not. That's what it is, because those scratches, you won't be able to play your game. So just remember that if you're going to go, like I said, these are old tricks of the trades that we used to do back in the day. Just remember, those are the things you need to do when you look for trade-ins, all right? Also, price match with Amazon. You may try to, you know how GameStop prices are. You can probably find that very same PS2 game that you found at GameStop pre-owned, you can probably find it cheaper, like on Amazon, for new instead of used. So, like I said, do your price matching. Even if it's used, turn it over, look at the side, see if it's of quality to you, if you think it's going to work. Because mind you, employees are supposed to run these things in the back. They are. And if they don't, but sometimes they don't have time. However, they're supposed to run them in the back on their own system to see if it works. That's what they're supposed to do. Sometimes they don't do that. Okay? So, like I said, as a consumer, protect yourself when it comes to that. Also, I want to talk about another video real quick. Another video game. Alright? And I say this because for those who have not seen this, this is going to bring back some nostalgia memories. For those who have not seen this Kickstarter, alright, let's take a look at Slain. On the challenge. See, that's what us gamers, that's what we strive to look for. Something with a challenge, not just puzzle games just aren't challenging anymore. No, it doesn't have to be a puzzle game to be challenging. As far as I'm concerned, I cannot wait to get my hands on that. I want to move on to other news, and this is kind of bad news. Once you hear the name, you'll be like, yep, here we go again. So, future Assassin's Creed games, here we go again, alright, could have more modern day sections. Now I'll put it like this. Ubisoft, take a break. Stop making Assassin's Creed. Stop making Ass Creed. Because as far as I'm concerned, even your fan base, and we saw the article where the fan base said, look, you're burning us out. Just take a break. That's all you need to do. Take a break and then come back to it later. And speaking of people who have taken a break, taken a hiatus, and now are on the comeback, for those who don't know, Guitar Hero and Rock Band making a comeback. That's right. Now, I'll put it like this. There's a question mark in this article because the writer is not sure whether, what they're going to do. Now, this is where I have to step in, okay? Because for you people who watch my videos, I've done a number of Rock Band videos. I've done a number of gameplay videos because, I play the game, right? When Rock Band decided, when Harmonix decided, okay, this project is done, it's over, it's kaput, they kept the online up for it so that we could play with each other, all right? When it came to, getting a band together and trying to do the high score and all that type of stuff, they kept the online up strictly for the gamers, okay? Now, I will put it like this. After a while, some DLC started to come out. And people were like, wait a minute, we're starting to see some DLC albums come out, It was like, wait, are they coming back? We're not sure. Then I got a newsletter from Harmonix saying, are we on the comeback? We're not sure. How would you feel if Rock Band came back and they sent me a survey? Would I buy it? Would I not? Would I, buy new instruments for it or not? Things of that nature. They asked a number of stuff in the survey, okay? Then we saw more DLC come out, and, people are just going nuts now. So as far as I'm concerned, I would say yes, it's on its way to come back, and I will put it like this. I'm okay with Rock Band coming back, as opposed to Guitar Hero, and only because of the fact that we know Activision will milk the hell out of it. That's what killed this genre to begin with. Activision kept killing it with Guitar Hero. They just kept throwing on top of it, on top of it, on top of it, and it burned it out really quick. If you think about it, Rock Band only had 3 games. Guitar Hero, they just kept killing you with it. It was like, stop. Just stop. And the DLC that came with it, you have to understand, because it takes a long time to get licensing when it comes to those companies, those music companies, that became a problem. So when you wanted DLC and you bought the DLC, as you know, when I would upload those videos, those companies would come and be like, oh no, you're using our song, blah, blah, blah. And I would be like, no, I'm not using your song because you were already paid for it because it was licensed on the game. Back off. And companies, some of them would back off and some of them wouldn't, all right? Not that it mattered to me because I never monetized, the videos anyway. However, that it was just the point that you are not allowed to double dip. You get what I'm saying? However, I'll put it like this. I think that Rock Band is going to make a comeback. I really don't want to see any more instruments unless it's something that's really cool. Please, if you make another Rock Band, do like you've been doing Harmonix, which is importing all the other old stuff from your other Rock Band games and bringing it to the forefront on your new Rock Band game for those playlists. Don't leave any of the DLC away or the other songs away. We know what happened last time. And like I said before, even when you got those other standalone games with Rock Band, like AC/DC and Green Day, you can incorporate that into your other Rock Band games. So you don't have to just, take out disc and swap and everything. You can play it right in your main Rock Band game. So as far as I'm concerned, if Rock Band's going to do this, by all means do it. But if you're going to do this, and I've said this before, I even said it, towards MomoCon, and we were talking about on Twitter, have some tournaments for this. Seriously, have some tournaments for this. Hype it up as much as possible if you're going to do this, okay? Now, I do want to move on. Fable Legends, gotta talk about this. Fable Legends will be a free-to-play game. That's right, just to let you know, if you're interested in Fable, I know there's a lot of Fable fans still out there, but like I said, free-to-play game. Also, the Unreal Engine 4 is now free. That's right. I believe they only want, I believe it's something like 5% of the proceeds or something like that if you complete your game or something like that. I don't know. However, I will put the link in the info bar. Unreal Engine 4 is free. And the reason I'm talking about this is because not too long ago, I believe on Twitter, they're trying to do this 6-month rule or something like that where you can, learn development, and, if you're not happy with developers who are treating you like trash, or, these indie devs, you can make games on your own. They're having some type of thing now on Twitter where, it's actually like a hashtag. It's like 6-month solution or something like that. So, once again, Unreal Engine 4 is now free. So, for those who are competing, I wouldn't say competing in it, but are participating in that. Also, Pac-Man. Gotta talk about, Pac-Man, love Pac-Man. A Pac-Man themed restaurant is to open in Woodfield, I believe, Illinois. And I'll put the link in the info bar. The place looks amazing. As far as I'm concerned, I may have to take a trip out there to go see how this looks and actually record it. It actually looks that cool. Also, gotta talk about this. This is the last piece of news. Therapeutic game takes aim at autism. That's right, a game that tries to help people not only with their autism, I believe it's also in other factors as well. Let's see. It also helps with, here we go. It helps with Alzheimer's, attention deficit, hyperactivity disorder as well. So this game not only helps with autism, as you can see, it tries to tackle a number of, I don't want to say diseases, I'll say symptoms, okay? Because calling it a disease is just way too far. I guess autism, people could say. I say it's a symptom, you know what I mean? You don't want to insult, people too much when it comes to those type of things. However, this is a game that will help with that. And you know what? Within all of this, we're still having idiots say that games are porn. Yet games are helping people with their autism. We've seen games in the past help with PTSD. We've seen games help with, as you see, ADHD. It's sad that this is what it's come to. So when you see a guy like Jonathan Blow come out and say that games are majority of games are porn, when you have developers who are actually, putting, let's not forget that gamers cracked the AIDS enzyme. Remember that? Oh, we're forgetting that too, right? Yeah, because we're all such horrible monsters, but we cracked the AIDS enzyme. And remember, folding at home, I criticized Sony on that, and I said, why did you get rid of it? Because it was helping towards, something good. It was curing diseases. And it's just sad that, now we have people like Jonathan Blow who have no fucking idea what they're talking about, saying that games are porn, when we see gamers use games to the best of their ability, with the best of their ability for great causes. And developers who are putting out these games and helping for great causes. And also companies, as we saw with Microsoft, as much as we hate Microsoft when it comes, and I say this because of the business tactics, hate Microsoft, okay? Business tactics. We saw, if you take the camera that they have, I forgot what it's called that quick. Anyways, the camera that they have, we saw that if you put it in the right hands, it could help the blind. Or should I say visually impaired. You know what I mean? Or, and we've seen that camera also help people with surgery. I've shown these videos over time throughout the years. So for a developer to say that games are compared to porn, when you have gamers doing their part to help lives, when you have games doing its part to help, symptoms and diseases and help people recover from tragic, horrific accidents or just situations in general, and then you have companies who go out and actually, say, hey, look, even though this is for a video game, you're using it for a hospital, you're using it to help people. You know what I mean? When you're seeing these type of things, man, I take great offense to people like Jonathan Blow who open their mouth and say shit like that. I take great offense to people like Brianna Wu and Nania Sarkeesian and Lee Alexander, whoever the fuck else wants to come out and say video games are nothing but sad, guys are dude bros and savage and all that bullshit. Because they're wrong. Simple. They're just wrong. And it's sad that we have these type of people who keep screaming this bullshit in the limelight when they don't deserve it. You know that this community has done such a good thing, have done so well, even though we still have our problems. We've done so well. We've come so far to help so many people. And yet, when it comes to the media, all they do is try and knock us down. But, as you know as gamers, we're used to being knocked down. The thing is, we always get back up.